Hello and welcome back to Inside Tennessee Football's practice facility. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We're with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network, and we just got to talk with head coach Josh Heupel for the final time ahead of this big game against Texas A&M this weekend. First things first, an injury update. Tennessee finally somewhat healthy, kind of. Everyone's banged up at this point in the season, but the two main guys that were asked about, Danico Slaughter and Dante Thornton, he said he expects both of them to play this weekend. Yesterday, I think it was Leslie Walker said that Danico Slaughter's going to practice the whole week, and the way that Heupel talked about Dante being a contributor this weekend as well hints that there really is no concern for those guys. Obviously, Cooper Mays already back in action after the South Carolina game. He's had a whole extra week to recover from that. So there's still going to be injuries. There's still guys that aren't 100%. There still is going to be probably a surprise or two on game day where we get that list of inactives and it's like, oh, wow, that guy's on it. Yeah. Sure, that happens every week. But as of right now, Tennessee seems the healthiest it's been this whole year. I think that's fair to say just because of Cooper Mays' injury heading into the season. But Noah, what was your biggest takeaway from what Heupel had to say?
Well, it's kind of going off that. I think you can attribute some of that healthiness to coming off of a bye week. And I think in the immediate aftermath of that South Carolina game, Josh Heupel was asked, is this coming at a good time? And it has. He emphasized that this week. And he emphasized it today as well. He was asked about the sharpness of the team. Some teams thrive off coming off a bye week. Some teams may struggle with that week off. He said the guys have looked incredibly sharp. They came out here this week, had a good practice, had a good walkthrough today, something to keep an eye out. And just like you said, some guys gave them an opportunity to get healthy, and I think that has kind of helped with how they've looked this week.
And now I should say, when I say they're the healthiest this year, they do have two guys that are out for at least a large portion of the season, if not the whole year. And Keenan Peely, a guy that maybe we'll see come back at some point, and Brew McCoy, wide receiver, out for the season. So outside of those guys, they seem pretty healthy. But you do have to replace that production. We've seen the young guys, the freshmen, Arian Carter and Jeremiah Thielander, and then the sophomore Elijah Herring step up at linebacker. Well, now we need to see guys step up at wide receiver at the X position where Brew McCoy is out. He's been asked about it all week. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And Heupel re-emphasized today, it's going to be that trio of guys. Redshirt freshmen, Chaz Nimrod and Caleb Webb, and then transfer guy that's only seen time in the slot to this point, but Dante Thornton, he expects to be a contributor on the outside now as well. So from what we've heard, it seems like they're going to try to get a little bit of a rotation in. We don't know exactly who the starter is going to be. My money's on Caleb Webb just because he's kind of been that first guy off the bench so far this season. But they seem to have faith in all three. They have trust in all three to perform at a high level. And like I said, it should be a rotation. We should see all three guys kind of get their reps this weekend, just based off of what we heard from Heupel today, what we heard from Joey Halzle yesterday, and what we heard from Joey Halzle on Tuesday, and what we heard from Heupel on Monday. So a little bit of a tryout, almost, it feels like, to see who can step up in a big SEC game against a really good Texas A&M defense, to figure out who's going to be that guy going forward, and kind of who's going to be that guy that's taking this next step in their Tennessee career. Because Chaz Nimrod and Caleb Webb, both the young guys, have a lot of growth going forward and a lot of time to put together some really solid careers at Tennessee.
I think, too, how big was that UTSA game, a few weeks ago for Caleb Webb? You mentioned him being the first guy off the bench. That was a game where Brew McCoy went down early as well, and they turned to him immediately, got his first touchdown in there. When you look back, that wasn't like it was trash time, that they threw him in there. He got some significant playing time in that game early. And now when you look back, how big was that experience for him? Because now a couple weeks later, here we are, and he may be starting on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely need some production from those guys. But I'll do it all from us here today. Next time you'll see us, we'll be inside of Neyland Stadium on Saturday, a 3:30 kickoff on CBS against Texas A&M in front of a checker Neyland. Should be a pretty insane environment. And you look at those trends, Tennessee, hard to remember the last time they lost at home. Texas A&M, hard to remember the last time they won on the road. Something's got to give. Either that trend's going to continue or it's going to be broken. So that'll be interesting to see, but we will be boots on the ground in Neyland Stadium with all the content you need. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, head over to VolReport.com for all of our written stuff, and also in the Rocky Top forum to join in on the discussion. Links to everything you need is in the description. Thank you for watching.